Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. We are learning more disturbing details in the case of an Airway Heights couple accused of murdering an 8-year-old and keeping her body for several months. 28-year-old Alexander Kurmoryev and 33-year-old Mandy Miller were arrested in South Dakota last December when police found the child's body in the back of a U-Haul. That couple is now back in Spokane, and KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk was in court as they faced a judge.
These new court documents show the horrific abuse this child endured and the lengths the two adults who were supposed to protect her went to hide the death. We want to warn viewers the details are difficult to hear. It's hard to imagine an 8-year-old girl weighing 26 pounds, but that's what a medical examiner noted during the autopsy of Mila Miller. Police say in the months leading up to her death, she was tied up and tortured. Now her adoptive aunt, Mandy Miller, and her boyfriend.
Is this Alexander Kurmoryev?
Kurmoryev. Yes, sir.
Have been charged with murder. Police say they hid the child's body in their Airway Heights home for more than 3 months. The two were arrested in Mitchell, South Dakota this December after a funeral home reported they were trying to bury a child on the Rosebud Indian Reservation without any sort of paperwork documenting the death. Authorities there called Airway Heights police after finding Mila's body inside a casket in the back of a U-Haul trailer.
Obviously, this is an incredibly serious offense. The murder of a child. This was part of a pattern of abuse that, as you can see from the probable cause affidavit, involved restraining this child's hands and feet with zip ties, which matched up to the ligature marks found by the medical examiner.
According to court documents, the couple said they didn't call an ambulance the day Mila died because they thought it would take too long. Kurmoryev said they kept Mila's body for months because they, quote, wanted to spend more time with her. When Spokane County detectives searched the couple's home, they found zip ties, an excessive amount of cleaning supplies, and air fresheners plugged into almost every outlet. Months before this, neighbors in Airway Heights reported the couple multiple times, and school counselors were worried since the 8-year-old had not been in class for several months. Between February and March, police attempted to make contact with the couple at least 5 times, but no one came to the door. Then in August, an officer did observe the 8-year-old breathing in her bed a month before her death. The Airway Heights police chief says their investigation will also look into how the alleged abuse went on for so long. The couple is now charged with murder, criminal mistreatment, and unlawful imprisonment. A judge set both of their bonds at $1 million. They're scheduled to be back in court February 7th. In the studio, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The man accused of killing a man for practice in 2020 before murdering his ex-wife took the stand today. The defense asked him a few questions about the case, but when it was the prosecutor's turn, they claim Beal lied on the stand about ever firing the gun that was presented as evidence. It's an important detail because in this murder trial, attorneys cannot discuss the previous trial relating to the murder of Beal's ex-wife. Court documents for both cases say that Beal used the same gun to kill his ex-wife and allegedly kill Andrew Bull. Well, today he said he never owned that gun.
He was asked by defense, did you shoot Mr. Bull? And now they're objecting. I'm asking if you ever shot the gun. She opened the door. She is the one that said, did you ever shoot Mr. Bull? I should be able to ask if you ever shot that gun. The defense opened the door, Your Honor.
He can ask it, but Mr. Beal says he didn't shoot the gun.
The judge spent about an hour looking over case law to determine how to go forward, and she ultimately ruled the prosecutor could come back and ask questions that were off the table up until now. Well, Spokane police are asking for help finding a man who abandoned a stolen car with drugs and guns inside. Officers responded to a shoplifting call back on January 12th, and when they tried to confront the suspect, he took off. After getting a warrant, police searched the car, which it turns out police say was stolen. Inside, they say they found 6 guns, a stolen e-bike, and thousands of pills. If you know anything about the man in this case, you are urged to contact police at that number right there at the bottom of your screen.
I did not only lost my daughter, I lost my past, my today, my future, my tomorrow, and same with all these people.
Emotional statements from victims' family members of the 2 737 MAX 8 jet crashes that happened in Indonesia and Ethiopia, killing 346 people. Today, Boeing pleaded not guilty to a criminal charge on fraud in a federal courtroom in Texas. This after the company originally paid $2.5 billion to avoid prosecution. Alaska and Horizon Airlines said goodbye to an old fleet of planes at the Spokane airport today. The former planes were a staple of Northwest travel for the last several years. Those that have worked with those planes for decades say they'll miss them, but they are ready to move on.
It's a bittersweet moment. You know, our employees and frankly many of our customers, they like the Q400. It's like an old friend to them.
Well, the airlines will be transitioning to a new fleet of E-175 jets that can fly higher and faster for regional flights. The final passenger flight of the old planes left Spokane for Seattle at 6 o'clock tonight. All right, let's talk weather. After a calm week weather-wise, things are about to change. We are tracking snow, wind, and some frigid cold temperatures. Let's get straight to meteorologist Jeremy Legoux. All right, Jeremy, when does the storm hit us here locally?
Next couple of hours. It starts with a little bit of spurt of something out ahead of it, and that something's going to be a little bit of rain, wintry mix, and snow depending on where you are. And then the real event really tomorrow morning before we're out of bed. We have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in effect right now in anticipation of the storm. And there it is. Look at how far it moves in just the past 4 hours. Kind of incredible. So I have it marked where it was 4 hours ago, and then you can see where it is now. So it's moving quite quickly and already making its way over into the west side. Out ahead of it, temperatures bumping up. Ritzville, Moses Lake, Othello, all warmer now than you were in the 6 o'clock hour. Spokane, Deer Park, Coeur d'Alene, we're pretty much where we were back in the 6 o'clock hour. And that comes ahead of the storm. So as that arrives, it is likely a wintry mix in many low-lying areas, especially in eastern Washington. And then it turns to snow by tomorrow morning, but it is a wet, heavy snow that moves in. That continues, eventually tapering off after the morning commute. And then it's mountain snow throughout much of the day. And then as we get into Saturday morning, another quick round before wind picks up, blows out the snow, blows out the cloud cover, and ushers in some serious cold. We've got a couple of inches of snow in the forecast, but it's a wet, heavy snow. Look out past 12 to 18 inches of snow. But as Mark mentioned, Saturday comes with a lot of wind, and by Sunday, we're talking brutal cold across the region. Wind chills, we'll talk those coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Jeremy, sounds good. We'll talk to you later in the broadcast. Well, now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. Within the last few hours, the city of Lewiston lifted a boil order. This more than a week after the reservoir failed and flooded the town. Yesterday, they drained the reservoir to further assess the damage, and today changes to the water system means there are no longer contaminants in the water, according to the city. The city says changes will continue over the next few days to make sure the water is running efficiently. Today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee took aim at traffic deaths in the state. Last year, Washington state saw the most traffic deaths since 1990, deaths that lawmakers say are preventable. The most controversial bill on the table this go-around to prevent this, lowering the blood alcohol level from 0.08 until 0.05. Both the Washington Hospitality Association and Washington Wine Institute have argued against the proposal. They say science supports 0.08 as a safe level of consumption. New technology has made its way to Spokane, and robots are now roaming the halls of Multi-Care Deaconess Hospital. Moxie is a 300-pound device created to assist and deliver supplies to nurses as they care for patients.
I grew up watching the Jetsons, and I never thought I would live through this in real life, and this is amazing. It has been fantastic watching this develop and grow.
And when we can automate any process for a nurse and take that off their plate, then that frees up cognitive time to do other things that really it takes a nurse's training and expertise to manage.
Hospital officials say the new assistants are strictly to help nurses and will not act as a replacement. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone.